Hey there, welcome to Motorcycles and Misfits.
Wow, wow.
Coming to you from the Recycle Garage in sunny Santa Cruz, California.
Sunny Santa Cruz, California.
Hey everyone, this is Liza.
Is it?
And I hope everyone's cheered up a bit since our last episode was a little bit bleak.
No, I mean, I'm not necessarily certain it's bleak. I think our guest in the studio said it got a little personal, which I will agree with.
We're going to pick it up this week, though, isn't it? Circus clowns, motorcycles, and other fun thoughts?
Yes, exactly. It's motorcycles and chocolate this week, and how much you can consume without getting sick. Talking of chocolate, did you bring anything nice to eat this week?
Once was a man from Nantucket who carried his wee willie in a bucket. Oh, I'm sorry, you were saying, Liza?
Oh no, I'm just sitting back and watching the show because sometimes it's fun to let it go.
Okay.
Let's get to who is here with us today in the studio, wearing her, what'd you call that? Aqua blue?
Aqua. It's aqua.
Aqua blue cowboy hat.
Oui.
It's Miss Emma.
Hello.
Mademoiselle Emma.
Oui, c'est moi. Merci beaucoup.
And-
Et je suis dans la maison aujourd'hui.
Except it's a cowboy hat.
Dang! What are
You got to say all that with a cowboy accent.
No, it's simply lovely to be here, as it always is.
Aw. And joining us for the first time, who has that look of what have I gotten myself into? I always love that. The first timers are just like, because when you come and sit down here in the garage,
Oh, shit gets real.
it's
Oh,
like
it's
when you
utter
get on one of those
regret
roller
every time.
coasters that
Just
they don't give you
regret.
warning. It just suddenly just shoots off and
We're
you're going.
Tick, tick, tick. We're going up the incline now.
Yeah, you knew you shouldn't have got on it.
Yeah, join us for the first time. It's Rick.
Hello, good afternoon.
And Rick, you have ridden up on a pretty cool little bike out there.
Thank you. Yes, I got a 701 Svartpillen.
Say that again?
A Svartpillen. White arrow.
And I actually decided that his new last name is Svartpilen, so we can remember who he is.
That works for me.
Yeah.
What does Svartpillen
He just
mean?
told you.
White arrow.
White arrow.
Isn't the
And the
black
Vitpillen
arrow?
is the black arrow.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Well, riding up on his equally cool but not so new Honda, it's Naked Jim.
Yeah, it's red. What's up, everybody? Happy Sunday fun day. Yeah, summer's here. Spring has sprung. I think everybody's getting out on their bikes. Every time I'm out, I see more and more bikes, which is rad.
We're full. It's full summer now. It went from miserable rain to full summer. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope everyone else is getting out there and riding. Speaking of which, hopefully he went out and rode with his new patch. It's Bagel.
Greetings. Unfortunately, I had not been out and riding. I've been wrenching on a van.
What? Oh, that's your other pastime.
That still seems like biker kind of shit, though. Right? It's wrenching on a van.
It's biker, it's adjacent.
Right.
It's used to haul things for sure.
Well, and I just wanted to share interesting news. I don't know if you guys heard about this. This man in Minnesota named Kai Michelson has
It wasn't Mike. No, it was Michael Kyson.
Nope, Kai Michelson. He invented a motorcycle that runs on an alternative fuel.
Okay.
I'm going to see if you guys
Steam.
can guess what fuel it is. Now, I will tell you that it has a
Algae.
14-gallon keg built into the engine with a heating coil inside.
Beer?
That is correct.
Gin and tonics. I would prefer.
No.
Or like
Yeah,
a gin
yeah.
mill would be good.
He says when the liquid heats up to 300 degrees and then it goes out, the nozzles in the back, the beer turns into superheated steam, which provides enough thrust to move the bike forward. He believes that this bike has the potential to go 150 miles per hour. Now, would it surprise you that he does not drink? The only thing is, I think it costs about $150 per gallon to run this bike.
Yeah.
It's
why-
not very efficient.
And why? What advantage does beer have over water?
I know. I thought it was funny. It's one of those things. It's like
Because it sounds like a
why?
unnecessarily complicated steam engine.
It's definitely yeastier. It is
Yes.
yeastier.
Does that provide lubricity?
Lubricity. I certainly hope so.
Well, you know
I
what?
love that.
I bet you the exhaust has a nice smell. They should call it the fart pillin'.
Yeah.
Yes, they could. Yes.
So
that wouldn't be an adjective I'd like to describe myself as being yeasty. Putting it out there.
No, it isn't that type of weather, though.
Emma's quite yeasty.
It isn't that type of weather.
well,
Yeast
that's
filling.
also
Yeast villain.
The yeast villain is somebody who comes and steals your yeast in the middle of the night.
Oh, that's when your seat cover looks like what? It was, Liza, the Shout of Turin.
Oh no!
Oh my word. Well, we're trying to have some fun and get it all out because even though last week it was a bit of a somber, not our usual fun episode, I decided to double down and make this the death
Just back at you.
episode part 2.
Right
That's
cross.
I'm gonna bring it down again.
Well, but you know what? I don't think this is going to be bringing it down because this one isn't as serious. This is dealing with the death of the bike. Last week we were talking more about the death,
Right.
of as a rider, but the death of a bike is a whole another complex thing.
It can be not equally distressing as the death of a friend, but I mean, it can be very distressing, particularly if you're financially a little bit
I was going to say,
straitened.
depending on your pockpocketbook, yes, it could be quite stressful.
I've never made a secret of pointing out that Mototown does have a designated crying area.
Where you break the news.
Yes. I say, go and take a seat in the designated crying area and we'll talk.
Over by that storm drain.
Yeah, exactly. By the skeleton and the storm drain. And
So all the misery and tears could just flow to the bay.
that's right.
So I thought we'd also take advantage of having Emma the mechanic here to kind of share some stories and answer some questions. But the first question of the group, has anyone here been responsible for the death of a motorcycle or a scooter?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Well,
No, I mean, I've crashed a bike sufficiently that it simply wasn't economic to repair them anymore. That was a long time ago.
what bike was that?
I want to say it was a Honda 500 Twin. It wasn't a particularly good bike. But I mean, I wrecked it so heavily. I mean, it was done.
I'm actually very proud to say that every bike I've ever owned has been passed on to somebody else in some form or the other.
Yeah, but they had nervous breakdowns after
Now-
you gave the bike to them.
Full disclosure, some of the bikes that I got were like free backyard bikes, and I passed them on as free backyard bikes.
Yeah, there you go.
But for the most part, every bike I've passed on. I mean, Jim, you've killed some bikes, but
I have some in a state of suspended animation at the
Yes,
moment. I
not
have definitely
quite.
killed some, like dead as like hit by lightning, but they've been resurrected. So the only one that I have that is not currently is the DR350, but we're saving that. Jonathan wanted to use that as a project bike for something he's got going on. So, but I have fundamentally killed them like seized engines. That I've done, but
Well,
they've always
yes.
they've continued on. People have gotten them and got them going.
I remember when I was, I think about 20, I had never really bought a car or motorcycle of my own. I was still getting the hand-me-downs from my dad, and I had a VW Rabbit hand-me-down that got totaled, and I got an insurance settlement of $2,500. And I could either buy another car for $2,500 or I bought a car for $1,500 and a motorcycle for $1,000.
Nice.
Yes.
And what was that bike?
That bike was a CX500.
Okay.
Nice.
It was really clean. I remember being so proud of it. It wasn't a new bike, but this was, I guess, it was maybe 8 years old, where it was that black tank, with the red stripes on the side. And I remember it was just so clean and I was so proud of it. And I used to maintain it and clean it. And I love that bike so much. And then when I was moving cross country, I had to sell it. I sold it to a coworker who 2 weeks later totaled it. And he T-boned a car and totaled it. And I was crushed because I had kept that bike alive and loved and maintained it.
'Twas not to be.
So when you say total, do you know the ultimate fate, or did you assume that it was off to
When
the
you
junkyard?
T-bone, it's usually off to the junkyard.
I just didn't know
Yeah.
if you knew for sure.
But, I mean, and I want to make clear throughout this whole conversation, because, I mean, I know a lot of the conversation's going to be with me, just because I've had so much experience around these things, having been a mechanic for so long. The death of a motorcycle is... There's a lot of moving parts there.
Yeah.
And one of the moving parts is your own circumstances. Because you could argue that no motorcycle ever really needs to die. If you have enough mechanical knowledge or enough depth in your pockets, everything's repairable. I mean, you could provide me with basically a license plate frame and say, build me a new bike around that. And you can.
It's like
Oh, no. Jim
that
sent me a
porn?
thing. Jim sent me a thing.
Well, would you like to make sure your phone's turned off, Liza?
It was on mute, but apparently YouTube doesn't follow that rule.
I see.
Oh, I see what he sent me. It's the Honda Elite commercial.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Is that the one with Grace Jones
Grace
in it?
Jones, yes.
Yes.
an adamant.
Yeah. That was cool.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Sorry,
Grace Jones and
yeah.
adamant. Come on.
So, I mean, it's a very, very relative term. And if we go back to...
I was going to say, like everything in motorcycles is just time and money.
It's time and money. And the number one cause of the death of a motorcycle is when the cost of repairing it, either by paying a mechanic, buying new parts, or paying your best mate and getting used parts, exceeds the value of the bike.
I hope you don't mind me bringing some Mototown business into the conversation, but
Yes,
you had a Gixxer 750, I want to say, recently
Yes.
with low compression.
Yes.
And I was curious, maybe with the background on that, and I'm curious the fate of that bike.
So this is very, very interesting. So I had two Gixxers on the ramp. Gixxer 600 2007 with very, very low compression on one cylinder. And I had a conversation with the young man. I'm not going to mention any names. And he bought it knowing that it had quite a sizable tick in the engine. And you could hear it. It was like, it wasn't a knock. It was a tick.
Oh, so somebody sold it to him.
Cheaply.
And he bought it knowing that it made that noise.
So full disclosure.
Full disclosure, it makes a tick, but it did appear to ride okay.
Usually the ad says something like, just needs new oil or just needs a,
Just needs a tune-up.
New tires.
He
Ran when I parked it.
He got it cheap. So he'd taken it to a Folderol motorcycle shop who said it's a rod bearing. And that's when I came into the picture because, it's a rod bearing, you need to get a new engine. And he wasn't happy with that. And so I said, look, bring it down to me. We're not at this stage, we're not even going to take it out the back of your truck. I just want to hear it. And so he pulls up in the truck.
And his bike's worth what, like $4,000 maybe?
Yeah, 4 or 5 grand.
Yeah.
So he pulls up in his truck and we fire up the bike and I'm like, that is not a rod bearing. As sure as I'm standing here, that is not a rod bearing. That's a top end noise. So I said, look, take it off. Let's agree to 2 hours diagnostic, 2 hours labor, and I'll tell you exactly what it is in 2 hours. And so I took everything down, no compression on number 4, or should I say very low compression on number 4. And I said to him, okay, I said, I'll tell you what, let's go 1 hour further because we're going to pull the cylinder head off. And I said, normally I charge 4 hours to pull the head off one of these bad boys, but I'm going to do it for an extra hour because you've got no compression. What you've got in your favor is it was actually kind of hooking up on 4 and just dropping down to like 3.5 at idle. But what you've got against you is there was junk on the spark plug. Mm-hmm. And that's very much against you. So I said, here's your 2 scenarios. If it's valve problem, we're going to fix it, and we're going to fix it in a cost-effective manner. If it's the bores, you're done.
So it wouldn't be the rings. Could you see the rings or no?
No, I could see everything.
Okay.
And what does junk on the spark plug indicate?
Junk on the spark plug means something is breaking up inside the combustion chamber. And that was exactly the case. So, cut a long story short, I pulled the head off. And I'm like, dang.
So there's metal breaking up in there, and it's like fusing to the spark plug? Okay.
Oh, yes. And so, I pulled the head off, and it actually looked pretty good in there. I'm like, this is interesting. So I flipped the head upside down, and, I fill the combustion chamber with... my usual shtick is I'll fill the combustion chamber with brake fluid upside down, and then just leave it, walk away, and then you get a flashlight up the exhaust and a flashlight up the intake and see if it's leaking through. And it wasn't, so I thought, okay, it's the bore. And I had the piston at top dead center. And so then I just turned it over to bottom dead center, and oh my God, the liner was actually breaking up in the cylinder. Ooh. And you could actually see, when it was at top dead center, the piston fitted the bore really well. But when you went down, you could actually see the liner beginning to break up. And it wasn't like a crack. It was almost like a cake-shaped piece that was missing out of it.
Was it like degrading?
Yes.
Okay, so was it like...
So at some stage, I'm guessing the guy had seized it. And, the way a lot of fuel-injected bikes work is if you actually run them out of fuel, because they don't shut off like that, you can have 3 cylinders going, let's go, and 1 cylinder going, and they'll seize. They'll dry seize. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what had happened with this one. And so we'd seized it on number 4. The liner was breaking up. Here's the problem. The liner is part of the crankcase halves because that's the way modern sport bikes are made. There's no separate cylinder.
Oh,
it's part of the case halves.
It's not like a sleeve or anything.
No. And Suzuki want $3,400 for a pair of crankcase halves before you've bought the rings, before you've bought the shells, before you've bought the gaskets.
And before you convinced a mechanic to do this for you.
Well, and I'd be happy to build it. Rates. But, we just totaled up the amount, and it's like, it's simply not worth it. It's simply not worth it.
Would it be worth it if you had the means and the money didn't mean much to you? And
yeah, of course it'd be worth it because all bikes are legit. Yeah. All bikes are legitimate, but a 2007 Gixxer 600 has a very defined value, whether you're attached to it or not. Yes, Bagel.
Well, there is an exception. If you can find one that's been wadded that has a good engine still,
then you can do the swap. But
then you can do a swap.
Just exactly. And I explained to the kid, I said, well, you can try and find a wadded one. You can buy a used engine, but just remember, if you're buying a used engine, you may be buying exactly the same problem as you've got right now. And we looked on Fleabay.
So is that like an organ donation? Not a death, but it's like an organ donor bike.
Well, I think I think that's what it'll become. And I was going to say I had 2 Gixxers on the ramp, and the other one was an 89 Slingshot, the 1100, which came in. The bike had been sitting for 15 years. No compression on number 1. And I said the same to the guy. I said, we need to pull the head off this thing. But because it's an older Gixxer, we could pull the cylinders off it as well. It's basically what the Bandit engine became. It first appeared in the Gixxers, and then they put different cams and pistons in it and put it in the Bandit. And that one, all it was stuck rings. Stuck rings. So I freed off the rings, ran a hone up and down the bore, and got all the compression back, assembled it, put a new set of pumper carbs on it, and even though the
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, well, exactly. And even though the bike had an ostensibly a similar value to the 2007, it's probably a little more valuable, actually. But there was no problem getting it repaired. And this thing hooks up.
Yeah.
With those pumpers on it, oh my God, it revs. You blip it and it just goes wang, wang up to the red line. It's wild.
I was just going to add, Jim, I think you and I both have two perfect examples of when the blowing an engine can mean the death of a bike or not. My XS 750, I blew an engine. I went on eBay and bought one for $500, a couple $100, because those are readily available. But Jim, when you blew the engine on your DR 350,
Right.
could not find one.
No, not really. I mean, basically, you were looking at buying another bike.
And
and
so-
I didn't need
right.
another bike.
And now you're
So
into
now
the
it is
bike.
that.
Yeah, now you're into buying the wrecked bike.
Yeah,
because
because I bought that DR350 from a kid in South San Francisco. Used it as a commuter for like $1,700, $1,750.
Right.
I picked that up for. Oh,
Yeah.
it kills me that I killed that bike.
So I was once the recipient of the bad news. It's been years since I talked about this, but one of my favorite bikes, my first like really big BMW that I bought, was my R1100 RT that I was buying for a cross country trip. And
RT, I remember him.
and I did a little shakedown trip. I bought it used from a shop. I want to say about $8,000 used at the time, when new ones were going for about 12. Okay. And it only had about 35,000 miles on an RT. Not bad at all.
Okay, so not huge mileage.
No, and I took it down to Florida for a little weekend, rundown. And the oil sight glass blew out. I've talked about this before. The oil sight glass blew out.
Not an uncommon problem.
And since I was in the panhandle, like swamp area with no phone reception, I had to ride it out of there. And I did not know, like, I knew that there was smoke coming out and that there was some oil, but I thought it was like a gasket, not glug, 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 glug. I thought it was squirt, 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 not glug, glug, glug. So I had to continue riding to a building somewhere I could get help. And I killed it. And when I got it towed to the dealership, they said, yeah, you've destroyed the engine, and unfortunately that's not covered by warranty. So I had to pay $5,000 for a new engine. So I ended up paying more for a used bike
Than you would for the new.
for a brand new one, which was a heartbreak for me.
But you were in this rock and a hard place position, because you had an $8,000 bike that you just bought.
Yeah. And it wasn't my fault.
You had no choice but to spend that amount on the engine. I've been in the same position.
Well, or
at the
you
shop.
dump it off on the side of the road, right?
Well,
I mean, that's the choice.
yeah, and
Like,
you're-
if you don't got $5,000 kicking
No,
around
exactly.
the bike,
You're
like,
put in that position where you have to make a hard decision. And, I was actually equating what you do as a mechanic is very similar to that of a doctor.
Peeing
When you
in the-
have
peeing in the airbox.
When you have to give somebody the bad news.
Yes, that is true.
And for many people, this is like their child that you're saying.
Well, now you see, now you're getting into something very different because of the very different relationship
Right.
that owners have with their bikes than people have with their cars. It's
But-
a very different
But
relationship.
you still don't know what kind of reaction you're going to get from people. And it's a very hard position for you to be in. And for me, then as the parent of the bike that I've just been told, is going to live without a heart transplant.
Well, I find kindness and empathy goes
But
quite a long way.
What they did was they said that they would waive the labor fees. I just had to pay for a new engine to be shipped from Germany.
ooh.
It was still hard, but I appreciated it, and I did it. And I went on to ride and love that bike.
Why not just new cylinder heads on a BMW?
Oh God! If you run a BMW out of oil, you're going to take everything. You're going to take the heads out, the bores
It was
out, the
hard. It
crank,
was hard.
the mains, everything.
Dude, do we all
Well-
get to tell how we killed motorcycle stories
Yeah,
tonight?
well, so tonight we're going to be talking a lot about the death of motorcycles.
How about how they try to kill us all the time? That was last week, I guess.
Yes. But first, I did want to say, with every death, there is a birth, right?
Phoenix rising from the ashes.
Something
Is this
like that.
true?
It's kind of like me in the
With-
in the morning. Anyway,
That's something just in general in life. For every death, there is a birth. And so I wanted to lighten this up and announce the birth
a birth.
of a
birthing.
new shop opening up
Oh, that's great.
in South Carolina. And you'd be surprised
South
to know
Carolina.
what it's called.
What is this shop
It's called
in South
it's called
Carolina?
Shrimp and Grits.
Oh, that is a good name.
Shrimp and Grits motorcycles.
Oh, I wish it
I
was.
already copyrighted.
What is
that
the
one.
name of this new
Well,
shop?
you know what? I brought one of the mechanics and partners from the shop to come on our show and to announce it.
Cool.
This is our new friend Gabe. Say hi to Gabe.
Right on.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, Gabe.
Hello,
Hey,
Gabe. What a
hey.
handsome fellow.
Very-
Look, he's got a beard and he's smiling and everything.
No, you're supposed to say, "Hey, Bo Gator, come on over here."
Is
I
this,
hope everyone's doing
Gabe,
okay
is this
tonight.
true? Is this true how you people talk down there?
I don't know. I talk fairly regular, but I'm actually from Florida, but I live in South Carolina now.
You know,
Okay.
Florida is not the South.
I had no
That's
idea.
what they say.
Yeah, it's really part of New England, but yes.
Okay, very good.
It's very similar to Western Vermont, I believe. Oh, just
So,
kidding.
you want to tell everyone the name of your new shop?
So, yes, the new shop name is Motorcycles and Misfits Garage.
Yay!
Oh,
What
wow.
a
How
great
about
name for a
that?
garage.
Exactly. So I found out about this a little while ago, and I've been following. They've been posting on social media. So I thought it'd be good to, invite them on and announce the birth of the new shop. Not open yet, but very soon. They're at that final,
Very soon.
trying to get things paved and inspected.
We're
and-
waiting on construction, basically.
Yeah, waiting on people. That's rough. Where
is.
exactly in South Carolina are y'all?
We are in a town called Warrenville, South Carolina. We're right next to the Augusta, Georgia
Oh,
border,
yeah.
South Carolina border right there.
Oh yeah, they got some good golf over there.
They do. We have the Masters over here and everything. You know, it's a big time around here.
How close to Savannah is that?
A couple hours.
So it's north of there, right? It's the other border, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just curious, how did you guys come up with the name Motorcycles and Misfits?
So one of the other partners, her name's Elizabeth. About 5 years ago, her husband was going to Motorcycle Mechanics Institute in Orlando. And during that time, she had a group of friends that she would ride with, and she had a group like a Facebook group where they would always keep in touch, and they called themselves the Motorcycles and Misfits, riding group. And that's just what they called themselves. And then, fast forward to now, when we all got together getting onto this business, she came up with the name again, and we were just all like, yeah, why not? And
Well,
I don't
that's
know
cool.
if anyone Googled it or checked it out to find out if anyone else is saying that. I have no idea.
Have you Googled
we
it
are
since?
motorcycles and we are Motorcycles and Misfits Garage. So I mean, little different, little tweak.
Well, the difference with us, because I don't know how much you know about us, we are actually the Motorcycles and Misfits.
Mm-hmm.
The garage is the Recycle Garage, which is a
Right,
motorcycle.
I did read that.
Yeah, so there you go. So it's the Recycle Garage is the place. Motorcycles and Misfits. That's who we are. We're a bunch of freaks. That's
Yeah,
why
most
we're the
of us are-
Misfits. I mean, we're a bunch of fucking.
It's a
freaks.
condition of our parole.
Yeah, exactly. But it is lovely to meet you. So,
You too.
shall we get into the nitty gritty?
Yeah, so-
Because
Yeah.
you're a professional mechanic, Nate.
I am.
I'm a
Gabe.
professional. Gabe, God, I'm so sorry, Gabe.
It's okay.
I've been doing it how many years now? 44 years. So I've seen a
Wow.
lot. You've probably been doing it a long time, seen a lot. We are going to talk and we can fire off each other. I'm guessing you're pretty much a Harley guy. I know you've worked for KTM in the past.
I did. So when I went to Motorcycle Mechanics Institute in Arizona, I did the entire school.
Right.
I wanted to learn every motorcycle. I wanted to learn the
And that's
Asian
a
bikes, the
smart
American
way to
bikes,
be.
German bikes.
Yeah.
I just wanted to do everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And before then, I had worked at multi-line dealerships and stuff like that. But when I went to Motorcycle Mechanic Institute, the chopper scene was huge. I mean, like,
it was
all the
right around that
OPP
time,
and
wasn't it?
all
Yeah.
that stuff. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to go towards this Harley stuff a little bit stronger, just in case, just to cement myself in the industry and make sure that I was carving out a good, path for myself, to move forward, in the future.
Well, here we are in America, and you might be surprised. I get a lot of English bikes at my shop.
Yeah,
But-
so I did too.
But if I didn't work on Harleys, that would be a huge part of my bottom line gone. So love them or not, you got to
Right.
work on them. And you and I both know Harley like doing things their own way. And it's harder for me because you're probably a lot physically stronger than I am. My biggest grumble about Harleys is how much everything friggin' weighs. Include, something as simple as doing a back tire change. If you pull the back wheel and tire out of a sport bike, weighs nothing. But a Harley with the rotor, with the disc, with the tire, it's like, oh my God, I need a crane to do this. And I literally have to sit down and gather myself, to lift this.
Or a gold wing, you need a hoist.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's have a chat about the conversation.
Yeah, I wanted to set this up. So I assume that as mechanics, that you get all different types. When you have to break the bad news, you don't know how somebody's going to react. And I'm just curious, Gabe, have you had anyone who, when you had to tell them that it was really bad news or it'd be really expensive?
I have, I have a couple of them, and I thought about that today. I had one really good one that I had forgotten about. I had a shop in North Carolina, and it was called Independent Cycles, and I serviced all types of, whoever came in, I tried to do them right and do whatever I could to my ability. So I had a 1%er come in, and he came in on a Road King that looked like it had been to hell and back and had close to 200,000 miles on it.
Wow.
Okay.
And he wanted me to just replace the top cylinder gasket.
Just needs a tune-up, that's all.
Yeah, and so I proceeded to tell him that something with that type of miles and what the bike was already doing, that even if I did go ahead and replace those gaskets, sooner or later, something else is going to fail right down the road. You're going to be coming back and sticking your middle finger at me like I'm the one who did it. And I didn't want to be put in that position. Well, whenever you tell those guys, some of those guys know they want to refer to who they are and who they know and who they have behind them and all these things. And he wanted to proceed to handle it right there in my shop. Well, I practiced the Second Amendment, so that wasn't a problem. And
Emma just has a bunch of Oompa Loompas that come out of the back.
I should. But I diffused it very quickly, but it could have gone a lot worse. I just tried to stay very calm and just very collected. But I've had many customers come in that they don't call ahead. They bring some bike on a trailer and it looks like a boat anchor. I hate to say it, but that's what it looks like, like it's been at the bottom of the ocean.
Right.
And they're like, yeah, can you clean the carburetor?
But, it's that knock-on effect. I have a very, very similar story about, and the outcome was very different. I didn't need to get the Oompa Loompas out. But it's a gentleman came down with a Ducati, and it was and this was this week. It's a 2011 Multistrada, and that's getting to the stage now where the bike hasn't got a massive value in it. And he said, I would like you to inspect and adjust the belts. And I said, okay, how long have you owned this bike? And he said, a year. I said, okay. Do you have any history of when the belts were changed? And he said, no. And I flat out refused. I said, look, I'll put new belts in for you. And that's all you're going to get. Because if I adjust the belts and they snap, guess whose door you're going to be knocking at? The last monkey that worked on your bike. And Ducati, they've changed their position with belts over the years. Now, they're not actually interested in mileage. The current thing from Ducati is 4 years. We're happy. Our belts will last 4 years. If you do 100,000 miles, if you do 10,000 miles, if you do 1,000 miles, we don't care. 4 years, you put new belts in it. So unless you have documented proof from the previous owner the belts were put in that bike in 2019, guess what I'm going to do? And so we costed out belts for him and the cost of new belts and the cost of fitting them. And he said, the bike simply isn't worth it because he needed the desmodromic service as well. And I said, and therein lies the problem. Because if you drop 30 grand on a new Ducati Multistrada, having $2,000's worth of valve clearance check and belts doesn't make that big a dent. But when you're riding a bike that's really devalued to the point where that $2,000 service is the majority of the value of the bike, it's a harder pill to swallow.
Is it like Liza's new Amigo?
Well, the Amigo is its own thing, let me tell you.
So, Gabe, just curious, and for both of you and Emma too, how do you handle when somebody brings a bike in that you just, like you said, Emma, you just don't want to touch? You don't want to touch. You know, you're experienced enough. You know how this is going to play out. How do you tell them that without them getting pissed off?
I'm totally honest, and if my honesty pisses them off, then that's on them, to be honest with you. I just have to tell them, hey, look, I don't, in my experience, I don't feel like what you're trying to do here is going to be accomplished with the amount of money that you want to spend. And if we move forward, I cannot promise you that all these parts are going to be available. I can't promise you anything. All we can do is try our best, but you have to have that in mind that this might not happen.
Right. And
so you need to make that decision.
Yeah. And it's the thing that I find works very, very well for me is even when I'm giving the worst news, and like you have to be honest, there's no sugarcoating it. And I use that phrase, look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this.
Right.
But kindness goes a long way, because even if the thing looks like a boat anchor and requires so much work, it's just not worth it. It doesn't mean that they don't love it.
Right.
And that's when kindness and just, I would never laugh at somebody's bike.
No,
I would never laugh at somebody's misfortune.
Well, except Liza's KLR. We do laugh at that.
Well, no, we're laughing at Liza, not her KLR. And that's it. And it's you really have to be kind, no matter what the news is. And there can be absolutely catastrophic news sometimes.
Right.
Is that the death of a Ducati when you give them that news?
That's
Amore.
Sometimes. I worked at a Honda dealership in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and back when we were having to weld the frames because of the recall.
Yeah, on the Goldwings, I remember that.
Right. And there was many, many guys who could care less. They were like, nope, I'm not doing it. I don't want it. It's a piece of crap. We got to weld the frame. And then there was other guys that were just so in love with it, they would spend their last dime on it.
Wow.
To get it done.
So I'm curious, like in that vein, Gabe, have you ever, we know that, what's what I'm looking for, that sentimental begins with a $sign.
Yes, it does.
But have you ever had an experience where someone comes in, and we always talk about, money is a thing, right? But someone come in with like deep pockets and say, hey, I know it may not make sense to you or on paper to restore this bike, but for some reason, a barn find that maybe came across where you did spend the money anyway. You're like, fuck it. And you were stoked because that bike stayed on the road. And the guy could afford it, right?
100%. A Suzuki Intruder.
There you go.
Okay, what's the backstory?
If we play the Cleveland Motor
Just
game,
a guy that it was his.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It was his first bike. He loved it. He had it custom painted. Everything. I mean, it was just chromed out, and he had it. It had a name. It was Roxanne, and it was just,
name and everything.
Never name it.
Custom
prostitute
plates
name too,
on it. And he still has it to this day. And even though I moved from where I used to work on that bike, he calls me this day and says, "Let me know where your next shop's going to be because I'm bringing Roxanne."
Oh,
right
fantastic!
Wow.
And that is actually, for me, that's number 2 reason for spending more than it's worth. Because it was my first bike. Number 1 reason, it was Dad's bike.
So you got one like that in mind now?
Well, I mean, I've got the perfect example is that 56 Triumph I'm doing the restoration on. So I have a 1956 Triumph trophy up on the ramp right now that's in for a complete restoration.
Wow.
And
Did this sit or was it in decent shape?
No, it was ugly.
Okay.
And the best 56 Triumph trophy in the world. No, I'm not going to say that. But a really nice 56 Triumph trophy is probably worth about $15,000 to $18,000.
Wow.
And that's maybe one of the best ones out there, full restoration. This guy's spending 25 plus on his bike.
Wow.
And you're like, why? So now we get into the story.
Because he's rich.
No, he is. He's incredibly wealthy, but that's not the reason he's doing it. And this will make perfect sense to you when you hear it. His dad bought the bike brand new, and he raced it down in Baja, California, and won quite a few races with it between 57, 58, 59, and 60. Now, my client was born in 61, and so his mom said to his dad, you got to stop racing that bike because you have a son now. So Dad, instead of selling the bike, sticks it in the shed. Meanwhile, my client is growing up, and at 5 years old, Dad would take him out to the bike, sit him on the fuel tank, and take him on 100-mile-an-hour runs through the orchard groves in Fresno.
Wow.
Without telling Mom. And so that's the memory of the bike.
Yeah.
And so money is absolutely no object. And funnily enough, I'm not bringing the bike back to its glory racing days. I'm bringing the bike back to the day that Dad pulled it out of the showroom with Triumph, with lights on it, with brakes on it, full road kit, so that my client can ride it around. And, you know, he lives in Pebble Beach, which is a very wealthy area. So he's got pots of money, but we don't take advantage of it. It's just the bike is so valuable to him in his heart because Dad's been gone now for, 15, 20 years. And the bike's the only real tangible memory he has of the time he spent with his dad.
Yeah, and right, I don't want to come across as being judgmental because the bike's still on the road, which is the whole name of the game. So I think that's rad. I think it's cool.
And it's going to be a beautiful bike. I mean,
what color's the paint?
It's like pale blue-gray polychromatic. You've seen the paint job, haven't you, Liza? Oh, it's an amazing paint job. It's gorgeous paint job.
So since we have two master mechanics here, I wanted to...
Masturbator.
Well, before we get into
us too.
we're
three bagels here.
I'm just an amateur.
He's amphibious. That's when you do it with your. That's when you do it with your feet.
Amphibious.
Or you can sit on your hand till it goes numb. Then it's a stranger.
Okay, now you're finding out why we're the
Pass me
misfits.
that artichoke liquor, would you, Emma?
Hey, I'm fitting right in, no problem.
Oh my gosh. So since we have
It's the artichoke liquor talking.
artichoke LIQ. I thought you meant LICKER. I thought it was
An artichoke liquor? Is that like a gay thing?
I was imagining a thing.
It's very good. It's a product of Italy.
new.
Okay.
Artichoke licking?
So-
I'll lick your joke.
All right, calm down.
Sorry, we're talking about...
Since we have Gabe and Emma here, I wanted to ask, you guys have seen bikes come in that are dead, right?
Yes.
And we're just going to say the definition of dead costs more to repair than the value is usually when we go by like an insurance right? And I want to know, what are the most common preventions that could have been done to prevent these bikes from dying?
Good question.
Right? What are the things you see happen all the time that it could have been so simple?
Can I start with this?
Go ahead.
So the two major reasons for bikes dying is number one, crashing.
Okay.
That makes perfect sense, though.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I laughed.
When you
first-
crash a bike
Don't
and
crash.
the damage exceeds the value of the bike,
Well, especially in Harley land, right? Where Gabe's at, because it doesn't take much
100%.
chrome and stuff, right?
and then the second
Job
thing,
security right here.
right?
Yeah.
And then the second thing is catastrophic mechanical failure. So if we go to crashing, don't ride like a bonehead. Catastrophic mechanical
Use
failure.
a crush washer when you do an oil change.
Just
Check your
maintain your bike.
It's oil,
Yes,
right?
something as simple
Check
as
the oil.
check the oil on your bikes. If you run a bike out of oil, you're going to destroy an engine.
Jim,
Done that, yeah.
I was actually going to say, I think you're incorrect when you're saying in Harley land, because every Harley, there are a million parts you can buy to replace it. Now, when you're talking about like a Ducati, that you can't get the bodywork.
Well, that's
or
different.
A vintage.
You
but
have
I'm
a
just saying,
Harley Davidson master mechanic looking at you right now, Liza.
You can get all the parts you need
What's the
to
tip?
replace
Okay,
it.
well, let's
You
ask
can. You're
you,
right about
what's the
that.
typical
Yeah.
repair cost for someone that low speed, low sided a Harley? Like 3-4 miles an hour, you kind of drop it, but it skids 5 or 6 feet.
Yeah.
$8,000.
How much?
$8,000.
Yep.
Wow. $8,000.
Yeah,
You
that's
got,
because
you
they
got color match plastic.
Yeah.
Yep.
because they don't like scratched chrome.
But the advantage you've got.
But
hold
still,
on,
point being.
Hold on.
No, you were.
Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Somebody who buys a brand new bike, new to them, not necessarily brand new, but a new to them stock bike. What is the average cost of parts somebody will put onto a bike just because they're modifying it for themselves?
Depends on the person on the bike.
I'm just saying, $8,000 is not that crazy. There are people who spend
No.
$8,000 replacing
Not at
perfectly
all.
good
Hot
parts.
parts.
So $8,000 sounds a lot to us because our currency is in dirt bikes.
Yeah, but one's by choice.
Right.
One's
No,
because
I
you fell
understand
over
that
because you
too.
parked on your garden
No.
hose.
But I'm just saying, the heart in the big twin world, it's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Costs are completely different, but part availability is different. I think it's other than, you can get every single part for a Harley. You can get an aftermarket part. Every single
Pretty
part.
much.
Yeah.
So, that doesn't have to be the death, but what are the things the common things you're like, oh, if they had only,
What is Gabe?
So
what does he see out there?
some of the common things that I've seen is someone brings me their bike too late and they've left gas in the gas tank
There
for
you
a
go.
couple of years. And instead of just dumping it out, now we got to replace lines. If you're carbureted, now we got to work with that. If you're fuel injected, we got to work with that. And hopefully it didn't gum up your injectors. It didn't make it all the way down there, but it probably did.
Right.
That's one of the first common ones that I always see.
Yeah, and we always say, fuel problems, they're very much a California problem.
What is that like?
But that isn't true.
Does that
It's a-
take like 6 months, 3 months, a year? How long?
Oh,
before
here
that-
in California, it's 4 months.
Okay.
You're done.
That's an excellent point because obviously preventing a crash is harder. That's something that's not always within your control. What he's saying is 100% in your control. For whatever reason, you're not able to ride your bike for a certain amount of time,
Right.
and you have not prepped it. And that
At
that
least
can
put
be
a fuel stabilizer in there.
Right.
Something.
Yeah, and that certainly would help. Playing devil's advocate, if you ride a fuel-injected bike, emptying the fuel isn't as easy as you think. Now,
Correct.
I have a lot of military clients because Monterey, where my shop is kind of a military town. And a lot of these guys, they ship their bikes out. They're going overseas. They want to take their bike with them, especially the Harley guys. And so it's going to end up in the belly of a C-130, and battery's got to come out, fuel's got to come out. And I've got quite a sophisticated pump system for pumping the gas out. But just for an average person...
Is that you
it's-
sucking on a hose?
No, that is actually a pump. I'm done with sucking on a hose.
Not what I hear.
Jim.
Sorry.
Well.
Did I say that?
But yeah, it's not like the old days of carbureted bikes where you just pull the line off, stick a hose on the petcock, switch it on, and
Right.
empty it. So it is harder for people. But yeah, buy some friggin' stabilizer.
Seafoam?
Just-
Does that
Yeah.
work?
But people don't
Yes,
necessarily.
seafoam.
Seafoam?
Yeah, people don't necessarily think ahead. I mean, I don't know how it is in North Carolina, but here, a lot of bikes that end up sitting for years, they didn't kind of expect that to happen. They put them away for the winter, or they put them away and then they had a baby, or dad died, or, they moved house. And what was going to be a 3-week layup now becomes a 3-year layup with all the problems it ensues.
So I'm curious, like both of you
Right.
again. So what's the typical fate of you bring in your Gixxer, it's proper fucked. You're like, okay, sorry, can't help you. Do those typically get sold as part bikes? Do they just go to the dump? Do people leave them on the side of the road?
They go home and try to fix it, or they go to they shop jump and they keep
Okay.
asking every shop until they find one that takes it.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, yeah, because they don't want to give up.
But right now in my warehouse, I've got an 07 Gixxer that's like worth nothing. And,
Mhm.
you know, if I find time, I'll part it out, but I'm not expecting to get any money.
Yeah, because that's a
out of
pain
this.
in the ass too. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and that's another thing. Oh, I'm going to take it home and part it out. Well, good luck with that. And you might sell one or two parts for 50.
You know what I would have done? I'd
$100
take the engine out, make the plastics look real cool, and put the whole bike up on the wall.
Yeah, there you go.
yeah, right.
So let me ask you guys this. Another common death of a motorcycle is an insurance settlement.
Yes.
So when somebody gets an insurance settlement, how often do you recommend that they buy it back and try and get it repaired? Or do you
Well, from my own experience,
Yeah.
I had a CBR that happened to. And I went to the insurance place and I turned the key on and started the bike right there in the yard. I said, yep, I want to buy it back.
There you go.
It started right up.
Yeah, and it's different for everyone. And I try and scope out the client, and I say, look, if you understand that you're gonna have your bike repaired, and you know everything that entails, buy it back, because there are bargains to be had. Usually, they're not so much these days, but back in the old days, insurance companies didn't want to deal with these bikes. They just let them go for nothing. Now, the actual intrinsic value of the bike has a huge bearing on whether the bike gets totaled or not, and what they'll sell it even to the owner for. So I scope out the customer, and the customer's kind of cool about it and say, look, I like my bike. I want to keep it. I'd rather put the money in to repair it. I say, well, buy back the wreck. We can do a couple of compromises with maybe body panels and, you know, source a couple of parts that are not genuine and, you know, get you back rather than you go around looking for a used bike that's an unknown quantity. Because you know what? When you're buying used bikes, let's say let's go back to our Gixxers or a CBR. You know, you have a $7,000 CBR and you total it, or somebody else totals it for you, and you get that insurance payout. And they say, well, here's the deal. We'll give you $7,000 for your bike, or you can buy your bike back and we'll give you 55. So you're buying it for 1,500 bucks with all the damage. And, you know, I'm just ballparking it here. And it may have a lot more than 5,500 bucks worth of damage on it. But you can do compromises. You can paint stuff rather than replace it. And you can maybe get used parts instead of new. That actually may be a far better deal than taking that $7,000 and trying to find a decent CBR for $7,000 that somebody may have had mechanical problems with, that may have deferred the maintenance. Your bike is a known quantity. It was a great bike up until it got crashed, got stolen, whatever.
Yeah, maybe
now it just looks a little different
or something, right? Like that kind of stuff.
Exactly. And if you've got a mechanic who's willing to work with you and say, okay, instead of replacing this $1,000 fuel tank, let's take it round the corner to Marina Auto and Collision, and he'll actually pound it out and paint it for like $300. You've just saved $700, and the paintwork's going to be just as good as the one it left the factory with.
Well, and I find personally, it's been my opinion that system is, I think, a leading cause of the death of a motorcycle is the insurance assessment, which I'm guessing you guys have been part of.
Oh, yeah.
And it's your job to go and document every scratch, scrape, dent, and ding.
We have to legally.
And then the quote is going to be for a brand new replacement part. When that bike doesn't need a brand new replacement part, and not every scratch needs to be replaced. So to me, it's always seemed to like buy the bike back unless it's trashed, bent frame, you know, something like that. Unless it's completely trashed, to me, it seems like save the bike, don't let it go to its death. Because there are bikes that I have known that were totaled because of body damage from falling over off the kickstand, like Ducatis.
They'll salvage it out real quick.
And they're going to go and now they're going to get a salvage title if it's going to be repaired, or they're going to be parted out. And that's the death of a bike that over something so small. That's how the system works, right?
So I'm going to run a scenario by everyone here, and you can tell me what you think of this. And this actually happened to me when I worked at the big multi-line dealership, which included Ducati. So a young man bought a brand new Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled.
Okay.
Top of the line. The Desert Sled had the really nice 70s paint job on and the spoke wheels. It was a beautiful bike. And he rode it home, and as he was pulling into his driveway, he hit a high curb and put a tiny hole in the crankcase half.
Oh.
So the bike had about 10 miles on it.
That JB Weld.
Yeah, a JB Weld, that shit, little sandpaper. Good to go.
So that bike actually totaled.
Oh, yeah.
It
Yeah,
totaled because the cost of buying the crankcase halves,
Labor
actually,
hours.
exactly, it just overtook the value of the bike. So here's your three choices.
Okay.
Let the bike go because he got full value for the new bike. Buy a new bike. Buy the bike back, turn the bike upside down, clean the area, get it welded. Buy the bike back, clean the area, JB weld it, ride it.
Sell
I
it.
think Jim and I know. Coke can and JB Weld.
It's
Call
a
it done.
JB Weld has never
Bear in
let me
mind,
down. Dude, JB
this
Weld
is-
is a permanent. It's like
this
pretty
is-
close to a permanent fix a lot of
This
the
is a
time.
Ducati Scrambler with 10 miles on the clock.
Well, and for me, the key was it didn't crack at the beginning of the ride. It was at the end of the ride.
Well, it still only had 10 miles on it.
Right. But I'm
Right.
saying I don't think there's additional damage done.
So what do you think he did?
I think they welded it from the inside.
Hell no, he JB welded it. And he rode that bike. He
Yeah, of
bought the bike
course.
back from the insurance company. They wanted quite a lot of money for that
Yeah.
bike.
What?
Yep. So I think the bike was $12,000. The insurance payout, they gave him the bike back an $8,000. So they wanted $4,000 for the bike.
Oh, okay.
You can buy a lot of JB Weld for that much.
And a skid plate.
And
So he paid. So he paid $4,000 for a 12 grand bike.
right, with a hole in
Yeah.
the crankcase. And
Well,
I actually lined up the welder for him and I said, look, if you want to get it welded, this is what we got to do. We got to pull the tank. We got to pull the battery. We've got to basically get it so we can flip the bike upside down without damage to the bike and then leave it for a few days to get the oil away from the repair and just get it welded and it'll be great. But in the end, he did the JB weld and he rode it for thousands of miles.
Well, there's
like
no
that.
pressure on that. I mean,
Well, and
we've done plenty of side cases with JB Weldon.
And
Yeah.
I was going to say, for me, the difference is between a bike that is meant to take abuse and a bike that wouldn't. If it was like an R1M,
Right.
I don't know that I'd just be JB welding it. That's, a lot of bike.
And again, it depends on your pocketbook.
Yeah, and a lot of it
A lot of
depends
times
on
it
your
dance with who you
pocketbook.
brought,
But
know.
he rolled the dice and he came up smelling of roses.
yeah, that's not always too common.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
and I mean,
it's not.
before you came on board, we were discussing the scenario of a customer of mine who bought a Jigsaw with a little tick in the engine, the tick, 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 very, very cheaply, and he rolled the dice and he actually lost.
So not valves?
It wasn't valves, it was liner. And you can't replace the liners on a Jigsaw 600. You need the crankcase half. So that was the end of that bike. And I told him, I actually said to him, I said, look, kid, you rolled the dice. You may have come up smelling of roses on this because he got the bike very, very cheaply. It just so happens this time you didn't.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well,
When we were talking about the death, I'm sorry,
No, go ahead.
the death of the motorcycle. If you got online and just looked at the auction, the Copart auctions,
Oh,
you'd
yeah.
see how many people really felt like that was the death of their bike that they let go. And you can buy those bikes on dimes on the dollar. And maybe just the rear end is messed up or the front wheel is bent or something like that. And all these people let these bikes go. And I see it all the time.
Well, and the industry has changed a lot because back in the day, it was much more common, and maybe you still have them in the South, but out here they're pretty much all gone. You could go to the junkyard, or otherwise known as the cemetery, and it was a common thing to go walking through and finding parts. I don't know if I've mentioned this to you. I used to always look at the odometer readings on bikes. Most of them are like old Hondas and stuff. The strangest thing, the most common odometer reading on a bike in the junkyard was about 17,000 miles.
Wow.
I just found that was like Back
the
then,
people that
for
just
like
never did
60s
oil
and
change.
70s.
Yeah.
No, like 60s
Yeah.
and 70s.
You never do an oil
Hondas or-
change
yeah,
by
I know.
17,000
So,
miles.
but we don't have them as much anymore. Those cemeteries, the whole.
Do you
Yeah, but the
still
motorcycle
have
change.
them out there, or are they going by the wayside?
Not really. I don't know of any near me. All those guys have gone online and just doing
Yeah.
it online, eBay or whatever.
Yeah, no, eBay killed. As good as eBay is, and it's a great resource. If the dealer doesn't have it, and you know what you're doing, and you know actually how to read a description and read pictures, eBay's a great resource.
Mm-hmm.
But it really killed a lot of things. It killed the barn find market because now everyone's an expert. You know, the days of like pulling an old knucklehead out of a barn and giving the old farmer $500 for it. That was a long gone now because of
Not
eBay.
happening.
You know, parts junkyards are gone. I think a lot because of eBay. But it's such a good resource, and it's really. I use it a lot for individual components. You know, the kid with the jigsaw, he said, well, should I buy an engine off of eBay? I said, no, you're kind of pushing the envelope buying a whole
That's touch and
engine.
go on that.
Read the description. If the seller is cocksure it's an engine and he's willing to guarantee a good engine and he's willing to guarantee it, and you've got some, documentation with mileage and so on and so forth, yes, it may be a good buy. But those are the engines that command the premium. You know, if you're just buying an engine from some junkyard, oh, yeah, this is a great engine. They've got no idea of mileage, and you're looking at the pictures, and it looks kind of scabby. It could be as bad as the engine in your bike. And guess what? You've just wasted all that money on the engine, all that money having a mechanic change it for you, and you're still no further forward.
Right.
Well, I wanted to. I didn't want to take up too much more of his time. He's on the East Coast. So
Yeah, what time is it there with you,
It's
dear?
late.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. At
Oh,
night.
it's not even close to your bedtime yet, I'm sure. You look exactly like the kind of cat that will be up until at least midnight and beyond.
I don't know. I hit the gym pretty early and then I go straight to the shop.
There
So
it is. But I wanted to just officially welcome the Motorcycles and Misfits Garage into
Thank you so much.
our Motorcycles and Misfits community, and just make sure everyone know that you're like our new extended family.
How do we check you guys out? Is there
is there a
we're
website?
online,
or something?
Motorcycles and Misfits Garage.com. We're on Facebook, all the social media outlets and everything like that.
Yeah, and they're going to be opening up in like the next month. Yeah, very, very soon.
We will be.
They got a boss
And I would
logo.
love to come back on and update you all on our
Yeah,
progress.
please.
And everything
No,
like that.
you're very welcome, and bring your fellow misfits in. So I
will.
understand there's 2 guys, 2 women who are starting this shop.
Correct.
I would love to meet all of them, and I hope they're a bunch
Definitely.
of freaks like we are. I mean,
Oh, they are. They
yeah,
are.
I mean, to be honest with you, if you're anything involved with the motorcycle industry, you got to be a freak to make it.
Of
Make it work.
course.
But to put misfits in your actual name, that takes some misfit shit right there. Son.
Oh yeah, that's
There
high.
you go.
That's high misfit
when
shit.
you all get a chance, go look at my building online, the pictures of my building,
The
because
mural.
I have it all the way across my building.
Yeah.
Oh, I
it
love
looks
it.
cool. It looks very cool.
Road trip.
And Gabe, what's your favorite podcast now?
Motorcycles and Misfits podcast.
Oh, there it is.
And what time does that come on?
It comes on 9 o'clock my time.
Awesome. Well, Gabe, thanks so much for coming on. I'll shoot you,
Thank you.
a link to the show and
Okay.
share it around and
Yeah.
let everyone know that we exist.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with the new shop. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Thank you so much, everyone. Y'all stay safe riding out there, and I'll see you soon.
All right. See you,
Hope
Gabe.
so.
Thanks.
Take
Ciao.
care. Good luck.
Bye.
What a nice and handsome man, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he's very, very well groomed.
I got the motto for him too.
So
Smells like piss in the airbox. I'll give you $500 for it.
I remembered I have another death story to share with you guys.
Oh, tell us.
Oh,
Drew.
we've been so looking forward.
No. This is a good one. This happened.
Oh, it's a good one.
No. This happened today.
Oh.
I scared a biker to death.
Oh my.
Or practically.
What?
I didn't tell you guys about this. So this morning before the garage opened, I ran down to 7-Eleven to go get some drinks and snacks. And I'm just there on the scooter. It's just a block away. And when I come out, I hear a bike. So gotta look. And it's some like dual sport bike. And this kid riding by with no helmet on.
I saw him. Was it a Kawasaki?
Yeah.
I saw that kid earlier today too.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, whoa, what?
Yeah, like
What's that
Kawasaki
about?
dirt bike. Yeah.
So I got on my scooter. I'm
That
heading
7-Eleven's
home, and
kinda
I
crackhead
realized
central, too.
he was stuck at the light. The light was turned red. So I come down like 2 blocks from 7-Eleven.
Did you pull him over?
No, well, I catch up to him, and I just literally I pull up really fast right alongside him. Screech! I'm like, dude. There's a helmet law, and he's like,
He take off, wheelied into the
he's
house
just like,
across the
"Whoa,"
street.
like I scared him. I'm like, and I happen to have an extra helmet in my top box from when I gave someone a ride. That's from the donation room. I'm like, dude, I have an extra helmet. You want it? And he's like, huh? What? You're just like, who are you? Like,
I'd probably be the same.
What do you want
like,
from me?
dude, there's a helmet law. I have an extra helmet. Do you want it? He's like, no. Like he just kind of had this like, get away from me. Like I just
I don't
scared
want
the
your
shit.
cootie helmet.
I just scared the shit out of him, and he just wanted nothing to do with me. And then he just sped off, and I'm like, they're gonna give you a ticket.
He was microdosing. He doesn't care.
Did it have a license plate?
Yes,
It did.
No, I saw him going the other direction. At whatever time, I don't know where you were, but yeah.
but I'm like, oh, this guy doesn't know how lucky he is. I happen to be right here, and I have a donated helmet. I'll
Lucky
give.
him.
Nope, he wanted nothing to do with me.
You tried.
You get that a lot,
But
don't
I
you?
did. I scared the death out of him. I was, hey, dude! I thought that was pretty funny. So, how about time to play? I got a couple little games to play.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I do. All right. I think it's game time. Okay. So this game is. So you guys know the Screw, Marry, Kill game.
Yes.
Yes.
Rick's
Yes.
looking at me like,
Yes.
what?
No,
Okay.
but I'll
Yes.
try it. I'll catch on.
Okay. So what I have here is I have a bag with a bunch of different bikes and scooters listed here. And everyone needs to pull out 3, right? And then we're going to go around and you have to, in this case though, it's ride, repair, or junk. All right. And Bagel, I'm going to pull 3 for you.
Okay.
So ride, repair, junk. What this means is 1, you get to ride for 1 day. It's a Twisted Road free rental. You get to have it for 1 day, okay? The next one is a bike that is going to be a forever bike. You are going to have this bike forever, and you're going to do whatever it takes to keep it repaired, running, and on the road.
You're going to give it all the love and attention
Here
it
you go.
requires.
Take 3. The other bike, you not only are you sending it to the junkyard, you are wiping it from history. This bike will not exist anymore.
Oh, I say.
Yes.
Wow.
That's quite the responsibility.
So ride, repair, junk.
Viking
okay?
funeral.
Can we look at them yet?
You can, but no, don't look at them yet. Just pull it out. I'm going to start with Bagel. I've pulled 3. Bagel.
Okay. Do you want
You're
to text them to me? Or
No, you're
oh,
3.
oh.
I'm going to read it out.
doing it live.
Yep. You have a Honda CBR 900R, a
That's what our English friends would call a Fireblade.
BMW K1200 LT, and a Vincent Black Shadow. So 1 you get to
Ooh.
ride for a day, 1 you get to keep forever, and 1 you get to wipe from
The planet.
history. Wipe from the planet.
Okay.
Viking
Right.
funeral.
Honda CBR 900R,
Okay, well-
BMW K1200 LT, and a Vincent Black Shadow.
The opinions
All
of
right.
Sprex.
I think I would. All right, I got this. I think I would ride the Honda for a day.
Okay.
I would repair the Vincent Black Shadow, and I would cast the BMW into the pit of hell. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
You're going to check your passport.
Ja. Alles korrekt.
Sorry.
Alles klar, Herr Kommissar.
All right, my turn now. I'm going to go. All right.
Okay, you
I
go.
got Honda XR650R. And just to clarify in this game, there's no years or condition listed. It's up to you to decide that. The next one, oh, shoot. Wish I hadn't gotten this one. Suzuki RF 900.
Well,
Oh, and a Honda CX500 Turbo.
Oh. Well, you've already
shoot.
You already had one of those for a day.
Pressure's on,
there's
Liza.
pressure here. Okay. All right. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
You can do this.
I'm going to ride for a day.
Yes.
The Suzuki RF900.
That's a good thing to do.
I am going to repair and keep it running forever. The CX500 Turbo.
Aw.
Because I think it's a unique and one of the best looking bikes ever. I love to look at it.
And you've just
And
upset
the
all of the
XR650
vampires.
Battlestar
R is
Galactica
gone,
outfit.
but they can just soup up their L's. Their
Yeah, there you go.
XR650L, they'll be
Give
fine.
them the alternative.
Yeah, all right. All right, Emma, what did you get?
Okay. I got, and this is the first time I'm seeing them,
Okay.
Suzuki Katana.
Okay.
Da, 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 da.
A Kawasaki Vulcan
Oh, maybe.
Which one?
900.
Ooh, you like that one.
I like all bikes, you know that.
Not my Amigo.
Oh, and a Kawasaki Concourse.
Ooh.
So,
What year Concourse?
well, there you see, there you go.
Yeah.
We brought that up earlier, and you said we can't bring that up.
No, I just said you can decide what
Oh, that's
year.
true. The new concourses, by the way, are fucking bitching. Bitching.
So, I am going to. I'm going to ride the Connie. I'm going to repair the Katana.
Oh.
Vulcan owners, you're done.
Oh, I thought the katana was doomed.
Oh, Jim, you
okay.
should know me
Suzuki,
better
I
than
know.
that. I could
You know what?
never.
I'm going to agree with you in that the
Suzuki.
Vulcan 900 is a perfectly fine bike,
What
but
a
it doesn't
reliable
really
bike.
make an impact. It hasn't changed.
Well, and you know
anything.
what? If you condemn Vulcan 900s to the graveyard, there's plenty of other Vulcans to choose from.
True.
You know?
All right.
And I just want to make it absolutely clear. Vulcan 900s are lovely, lovely, lovely bikes. But so are the other Vulcans. And guess what? You're just going to have to choose another one. Because
That's
your
right.
900s
There's also
don't
the
exist
V-Star,
anymore.
so have that.
Yeah, and the V-Stars are great. And they're all great. All bikes are great.
All right. All right, Rick, what'd you
They're all
get?
great. Okay, I got a Yamaha TTR 125,
Oh!
a Honda VFR 750, and a Honda GB 500.
A gore blimey
Oh,
500.
The 500 was cool. It was like their earliest retro single, but it was vastly underpowered. And remember, when they had them, they couldn't get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
They were giving them away.
But they're
now they're worth a
highly
fortune. Now they're worth
collectible,
a
yeah.
fortune. The Honda, that's a pretty incredible motorcycle.
Whiffer.
The VFR.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, good history.
Super powerful, super reliable, super nice ride. I don't really know what the TTR 125 is. I'm
Little dirt
guessing
bike.
That's a race
Yeah, it's a
dirt
little
bike.
Little dirt bike.
I think I would, I hate to say, disappear the dirt bike, ride the GB 500 for a day, but ride it really hard
Yeah, there you go.
and keep the VFR.
For forever.
Yeah, because that's a pretty nice bike, especially like 98 and right around that. 98 was 800. That was the first year of the 800s.
Yeah.
And you know, funnily enough,
Nice bike.
the VFR was considered the closest equivalent in terms of what it did to the RF 900. They were kind of deadly rivals. But of course, the VFR outsold the RF by 10 to 1.
Yeah.
You know.
All right, Jim.
All right, mine are hard because they're all nice bikes. So this is really hard. And I own one of them. So all right, I'll just go real quick. Tenere 700 CRF 450 RL,
Oh.
which is my dirt bike, and then a BMW R90T.
Ooh, that you rented one of those, right?
I
In
did.
Scotland.
I rode one across Scotland
Yeah.
for like a week. So I've been there, done that.
Okay.
God, it's hard. So the one I would repair and keep, one I ride for a day, one I trash, right? I would.
Yeah, when you
hard.
ride for a day, one you keep forever, and one you wipe from the earth.
Okay, it's just because of the choices. I wiped the CRF 450L from the earth.
Oh,
Because it's, well, you know, I could always get a KTM 350. So
Yes.
that gives me a reason to get the KTM 350. I think to ride and to chuck would be the R90T because it is a looker. I would pick a special occasion like the Concord d'Elegance down in Pebble Beach and like wear something fancy and drive around like a Monopoly guy, like I play Monopoly. And then just get rid of it because it's a cool bike, but it's not like a great daily ride. Yeah. And then a Tenere 700 as I, not as young as I used to be, but a lightweight adventure bike that'd be comfortable to ride on that I could ride for years and years and take off-roading and not have to lift, don't have to lift. It's Africa Twin Light. So as hard as it is to say, yeah, that's how I'd run.
All right. Well, there you go. So, all right, we're going to try a new game here. And Emma.
Hello.
This is, I haven't actually figured out how we're going to do this. So I'm going to.
This is role-playing, isn't it?
Here's what we're going to do.
Can I wear my French maid outfit?
So
that's just for us.
I know that mechanics get all kinds of people and all kinds of situations.
Yes.
In fact, I'll just share a story I told some people in the garage today. When I was going cross country and I had to get some repairs done, Phil sent me to a friend of his. I think it was in St. Louis. And, he was really busy, but, Phil called and he got me in right away and needed some welding, which was really cool, which meant I had to spend like a couple hours at his shop. And I remember this guy pulls up in a pickup truck and he pulls a little pit bike, like the kind of pit bikes you'd buy at like the automotive store back in the day, right? Pulls it out and he starts wheeling up and the guy's just like, no. And he's like, no, man, I just need some tires. If you can just tell me how much tires are. And he's like, no. And he's pointing at like, no. And he's like,
well, was it because of the bike or the owner?
Well, and he's like, come on, man, I just need some tires. And he's just like, no, get it out. And he goes, I already know how this is going to play out. He's done it so many times. I'm going to go have to spend 20 minutes looking parts up and tell you how much it is. And then when I tell you that it's going to be, $300, $350 for tubes, tires, and labor. And then you say, man, I only spent $100 at the flea market. And now I've just wasted my time. So just no. No. He's like, no. Mm-hmm. And I realized, like, God, mechanics deal with these scenarios enough that they see them over and over and over, and they know they're coming, right? Yes. So I figured that that mechanics have to know how to handle these scenarios. Yes. So I wanted to
spray
create
them with a hose. Is that
some. I'm gonna give you guys.
Don't make me get the hose. Get the friggin' Oompa Loompas out here.
Don't make me wake up the Oompa Loompas. Those little orange bastards.
They're not happy when they're woken up.
So I created some scenarios. I wanted to do some role playing.
Oh, fantastic!
We love to role play.
Yes, I know.
All right.
I like to lick peanut butter off a hobo's toe.
Emma,
also,
is this like LARPing?
Sorry, he made me. Sorry.
All right, now that you brought it
we're
up,
waiting.
I'm just going to retell an old story I used to love back when I lived in Georgia, and my friend Jean, she moved into Cabbagetown in Atlanta. It's a little neighborhood it was kind of like a poor neighborhood, factory workers, right? And this guy came and knocked on her door one time, and he was kind of he kind of hunched over and he kind of talked real quiet, and he had one lazy eye that pointed the wrong way. And he knocked on the door, and she comes to the door. She's like, "Can I help you?" And he's like, "Hi, my name's Eugene, and I mow lawns." And she's like, "Well, hi, Eugene. Nice to meet you. Thank you for letting me know. I don't need my lawn mowed right now, but maybe you can try me again next month." And he goes, "And I like to suck toes."
Oh.
And she's just like, okay, like, what do you do? What do you do with that, right?
Put peanut butter on it.
And so we always used to see Eugene, and he found that he could go around and knock on doors, and some nice people let him. lick
Oh,
their
I bet
toes.
about every 10 houses you get a good shrimping.
And he'd learn it.
Shrimping going
If he
on.
just was out there with it sometimes.
Well, it's like if you want to have sex behind the dumpster. Try that in a bar about every 10 times. You'll be having
Rimping.
sex behind the
The old
dumpster.
shotgun
All right,
approach.
okay,
All
so
right.
back to the
Jim.
scenarios.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
Okay, you have a Goldwing.
Yes.
It's only about like 8 years old, right?
Okay.
And it's making a like a cam chain rattle.
Yes.
Like it's got a sound coming,
rattle.
Yes.
rattle or scraping from inside the engine. And Emma, you're going to have to tell him that, unfortunately, this bike is pretty much done. It needs basically what you're covering, Jim. But your attitude is you don't believe it, and you think she's trying to rip you off.
Okay, very good.
All right, so. Here you are. Here you have this Goldwing, Emma. You've just inspected it. You are now coming to tell him the diagnosis.
I have seen people pull up to Mototown too that you don't know with bike issues, so it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
And go.
So, Mr. Jim,
Before you start, I'm so excited to get the bike back. I mean, ever since my dad passed, it's been like
Yes.
it was an oath of mine to get it back on the road. I think I'm going to go to Alaska. What do you think?
oh, I think that'd be a very bad idea. Oh. So what we've done the diagnostic on the bike, and I have found that we need to go further. We need to dismantle the engine because you have a very nasty rattle coming from the front of your engine, and unfortunately, the clincher, there are metal shavings in the oil.
Oh, no, that can't be. My dad took meticulous care of that bike. He serviced it himself. He used to take so much pride on how he took care of that bike, and I wrote it in, so I don't see.
Well,
it just needed like an oil change, just a little freshen up,
Unfortunately, an oil change really isn't going to help you here. Now, I do invite you to get a second opinion here because it's. I can assure you've got engine problems with this bike, but I know it's a very, very hard pill to swallow, especially after your dear old dad has been taking care of it so meticulously.
I brought it here because everybody said you were the best, and when you said you said you would take care of me and get me down the road 2 weeks ago, and I don't understand why now everything's different than what you said it was before.
Well, unfortunately, you brought me a very, very broken bike, and just like ourselves, I mean. We all get older and our bodies don't do what they used to when we were young. And bikes are the same. When your Goldwing was new and your dad rolled it off the showroom floor, it was just a fantastic machine and did absolutely everything it should. And it's got a few physical problems right now. And unfortunately, they are quite severe. And we're really going to have to dismantle the engine to figure out what's going on, just like a surgeon would have to open you up and have a look, and that heart murmur, you've got a very, very nasty rattle in there, and it could be something really very serious. Unfortunately, the shavings in the oil.
That's okay. I already figured this out. I was on eBay over the weekend. I spent a lot of time.
Yes.
And I found, basket case, they call them, but actually it's pretty much together. And for $632, I found a replacement. And, it's in a few pieces, but it's not a basket case by any means, despite what they call it. So I'm going to go ahead and get that on order. I'll probably have it in 10 days.
Yes.
And, and we'll just pop that in there.
Well, okay. And I'm very, very happy to offer you that service. Just remember this, is when you have the best mechanic work on your bike, there is a certain labour figure that we have to talk about. And the hourly rate, which we make no secret of, is, as you know, is $150. Every hour I spend on your bike, it's going to cost you $150. And an engine swap on a Goldwing, according to the Honda rate book here, is 11 hours. So we multiply that by 150. So that's going to come to about $1,650 just to switch the engine. And then if I have to put it in. So, we really need to watch the pennies on this bike.
Oh, totally. Don't worry. We can worry about that later. We'll negotiate more down the road. I'll just pay you in cash so we can make it cheaper, I'm sure. Why don't you just go, I'll get this stuff in and go ahead and get to work on it. And then don't trust me, I'll pay you cash later, and we'll make it good.
Well, the Mototown policy, and it's right there on the wall, when we're dealing with a bike that's of very high value to you, but it's lower value in terms of what Honda think it's worth, I am going to require a deposit of $1,000 from you, just as a goodwill thing to get us moving on this.
Yeah, no problem. I'll cut you a check right now.
That sounds just great.
Cut you a check right now.
Yeah, one of those nice rubber ones. So, yeah, why don't you cut me a check for $1,000 and you get that engine ordered, and then we'll do a breakdown of the engine when it comes in here, and we'll get your bike running really, really well, because it sounds to me like money's absolutely no object. And truthfully, as a memory of dear old Dad, it's a perfect thing to remember him by. So my recommendation is mortgage your house, and then you can spend all that money on getting this Goldwing running just like brand new again.
I totally will. And so I should have the parts in a week or two, but I'm also going on vacation. So if you wouldn't mind just keeping my Goldwing here.
No problem.
And I should be like maybe a month at most.
And no problem at all. And, we can just roll that $10 a day storage fee into the final bill, because we've already decided money's no object for this. And you have a second home, don't you? I'd mortgage that one as well.
Why are you going to be like that, you long-haired, peace-loving, hippie-type, tree-hugging acid freak?
And scene.
I resemble that remark. I've never been so insulated in all my life.
All right, let's try a new scenario.
Oh, he was aggressive, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Dear
That's right,
old
yes,
Dad
ma'am.
taking care of his Goldwing. He shouldn't have put car oil in it. That was dear old Dad's
I
mistake.
stole that shit like the day before. I'm just trying to...
So in this scenario, the Bagel, this is going to be your turn. And
All right.
Bagel, you have a Vespa 946.
Ooh,
Yes.
fancy.
Which you were, let's say you were...
Bequeathed by a Fabian uncle.
No, let's say
He queefed on his uncle?
let's say you had a little too much to drink and you were out riding and you managed to try it in split lanes and ping-ponged off of a few cars.
Oh, dear.
And it's
Ooh.
even though it's still running, it's got a lot of scrapes and dents and dings. And this is a really nice scooter, by the way.
Is it a Justin Bieber one?
No. Do you know the 946?
Yeah, I know the 946.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really nice looking
The
bike.
Chanel model.
So it's all scratched up. This is a very high-end Vespa. So you've brought it in, and Emma gave you a quote, and you said, whatever it takes to get it done. Now, Emma, you have done the repairs.
Yes.
And now Bagel shows up, and Bagel, you now suddenly don't have any money to pay for this, but you need that scooter back because it's your only form of transportation.
Right.
Emma, I'll let you decide how much that bill is. So, Bagel, you've shown up. You want that scooter, but you're not going to pay for it. And Emma, he's owes you quite a bit. You ready? And go.
Okay.
I'll have to switch to wine for this one.
Yes. So
I hope there's a beatdown coming.
it's lovely to see you, Mr. Bagel. As you can see, I have done a repair on your very, very exclusive Vespa 948.
46.
Thank you.
946.
Thank you.
You inspect it. It's better than you. Here's the bill. It's $4,738.29, as we discussed. I take all forms of payment. You can pay me cash, you can pay me check, or you can pay me with a credit card. And that's a favor really I offer to my customers. As you know, the credit card companies charge me 3%, which on a big bill like this is a substantial sum of money. But as a very, very dear customer, and quite a handsome one, I'm giving you that as a courtesy.
Can I pay you on Tuesday?
You are very welcome to pay me on Tuesday, but of course, you can't collect the bike. The bike's not going to leave my workshop until it is paid in full. This is a very expensive repair and a very exclusive bike.
But but I need the bike now. Like I need it now. I just don't have the money right now.
Well,
So I'll have it on Tuesday. Can I just take the bike now and I'll send you the bill? Like, can I send you a check or come and pay with my card on Tuesday?
Oh,
Is that okay?
absolutely not. I'm afraid you can't. When you take your bike to a motorcycle shop for repair, we enter into a contract. And just as you wouldn't expect to collect your bike without paying for it when you bought the bike in the first place, you can't expect to get it repaired without paying for it. So
Yes, of course.
the
of
bike
course.
stays
I know.
with me until it's paid in full, and I am absolutely firm on that.
And I completely understand. But you know me. You know I'm good for it. I can pay you. You know I can pay you. I just can't do it right now, but I need the bike right now. Can we just let it slide for a couple days?
Now look, I know that I know you very well, and just because I have seen you prancing up and down in front of that full-length mirror wearing your sister's underwear, it doesn't mean I know about any of your financial situation. And the thing is, it's really not a matter of trust. If you were to leave here and some bonehead in a Ford Taurus were to knock you off your bike and put you in hospital through no fault of your own, I'm on the receiving end of a $4,000 bill. So I'm going to be absolutely adamant. The bike stays with me. Now, if you feel you're never going to be in a position to pay the bill, I'm happy to sell the bike on your behalf.
No. I absolutely can pay for it. You know what? I have a deal for you.
Okay.
I have a hot tub that's on Facebook Marketplace right now for $6,000. And I have someone coming to take a look at it tomorrow, but if you want it, it's yours right now. We'll do it even, Steven. $4,000 for the hot tub, $4,000 for the bike. We're clear. What do you say?
Well, funnily enough, I've been thinking about a hot tub. You know, my arthritis is very, very bad indeed. So
I know.
Yeah, so let me have a look at that ad. Oh, there it is. And you were actually advertising it for $6,000. So my advice to you, Mr. Bagel, jump in your pickup truck, get that hot tub, bring it straight back to me right this minute, and I will release your Vespa to you. And you
Miss
know
Emma,
what?
it is yours.
And you know what? If you don't, I will slap a lean sail on that Vespa quicker than you can say 946.
And scene.
And one of that is one of the greatest advantages of working in a small shop. And, you know, Gabe would say the same thing. It's you wheel and deal.
Yeah.
And the truth is, let's say I had a bike in with a $3,000 bill and somebody said, hey, man, do you need a pickup truck, a piece of furniture? If it's equal to that and I want it, I'm dealing.
Do you need a bathroom remodel?
Yeah. And, you know, my arthritis has been very, very bad. And what's better than making love in a hot tub? In all those bubbles.
This when you have arthritis.
Bubbles. Yeah. It's a deal. $6,000 hot tub. So, yeah, you go.
I
bring
like
me
that
my
one.
hot
Well
tub.
done.
Bubble.
All right.
Cheers, Bagel.
Well done.
Cheers, Miss Emma.
I wanted to get back to death of a bike and what can cause...
Oh, don't you have any more scenarios for me?
No.
Oh,
what can cause the death of a bike? So one of them, I think, the most common would be crash.
The
right?
two most common are crash or catastrophic mechanical failure.
Which would be
Due to
lack of maintenance.
There's a variety of reasons for it. Go back to my friend with the jigsaw. That may have happened. And I mean, you could say running your bike very, very low on gas and revving it to the red line while it is low on gas is being boneheaded. But it may be a scenario that he just didn't realize. So you could argue that it was neglectful, but the fact of the matter is if you are approaching red line and you run out of gas, the chances are you're going to seize the engine.
What a comment on carbureted bikes.
Well, and you could do the same on a car.
Yeah.
Any scenario where you've got 3 cylinders going, let's go, and 1 cylinder going, hang on, mate.
And, you know...
You can result in an incredibly lean situation. Cylinder combustion chamber temperatures can go just skyrocket in a millisecond, and usually that ends up with melted rings, melted piston crown, valve problems, whatever. So catastrophic mechanical failures can happen. They're not just as a result of maintenance, but
also add to that the defect. What about a doohickey?
Well,
on a KLR?
There's a doohickey on the KLR. Very, very famously, 2015 Yamaha R1s had massive transmission problems. And if you ignored the recall on them, here in America, we're very lucky because NHTSA, the National Highway Institute for Highway Safety, usually are pretty on top of these things. But believe me, if you didn't get your R1 transmission fixed, and on the road they didn't tend to fail, but on the track they did. I mean, second gear would come out through the bottom of the engine. And that could result in a total loss of your bike because suddenly you've got, 3 quarts of oil where it shouldn't be.
Yeah, all over your rear tire.
On your rear tire. And you're on a track day, so that's going to end badly.
So, and this is something I've often wondered because, as the years go on, you realize there's certain bikes you used to see all the time that you see less and less. And I've always wondered, where do they go, right? They all disappear. So I wanted to talk about some more causes of them. So we got the crash. Here's another one. Discontinued parts / obsolete. Remember Adrian's Husqvarna that was only a few years old.
Yeah.
Now that bike wasn't dead per se, but she couldn't get new replacement parts. Same goes for people say Victory or Buell like why you shouldn't get them because the parts won't be available. And that can lead to the death of a bike.
So let's talk a little bit about British bikes.
Just so you know, we don't have that much time to talk.
No, I know.
We've got about 10 minutes to do this whole thing.
But if we talk about British bikes, I've often bragged in the past. I said, every single part for pretty much every British bike made since the Second World War you can get. And that's largely true. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is most British bikes, and it was true when they were new, were tended to own by more enthusiastic owners. The British bikes, the Squid Kid from down the road buy a Honda Super Dream, or a Hawk or something like that. But if you were really into bikes, you bought a BSA Starfire or a Barracuda, and then you graduated onto a Bonneville. So they always tended to be owned by enthusiasts. But there is a commonality amongst parts, especially amongst chassis parts, that makes it very, very easy to make knockoff duplicate parts. Most British big bikes had the same front and rear rim. Most British bikes had the same front and rear hub. Most British bikes had the same forks and rear shocks. Once you get into the engine, yes, there were very fundamental differences between the engines, but they were similar enough. Yes, they all shared AMAL carburetors. Yes, they all shared Lucas electric components, including the coils, blah, 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 blah. So there's commonality amongst a great range that makes it very easy to look after parts.
All British made, for the most part?
Well, back in the day, of course, they were.
Yeah. When did that kind of change?
Early 70s.
70s, 80s? Okay.
Yeah, early 70s.
Okay.
By about mid-70s, it was, you could argue, I would say probably the peak of English manufacturing in terms of design and at-home manufacturing, 66, 67.
How about chroming? When did that move out?
Well, chroming, let me tell you something about chroming. Chroming in Britain was done to a British standard. When you bought something in Britain, there was something called the kite mark, and it was the British standard kite mark, and the kite mark was basically saying it had been done to a certain standard.
Mm-hmm.
So if your mum bought an iron so she could wash, flatten your knickers, it had a kite mark on it, and it said this iron is made to British standard, 234 - whatever, which was the standard for irons, which basically said it wasn't going to electrocute you or burn a hole through your knickers. And chroming had to be done to a British standard. So, nickel, copper, chrome. And it was done to a good standard, which is why British chrome is actually very, very good indeed. Chroming went by the wayside because the British bike industry kind of declined in the 70s, and cars stopped having chrome bolted onto them in the 70s at the same time. Painted bumpers became a thing. So, it's everything kind of changed.
All right, I need to bring it back. Yeah. So, creating this list of why bikes die. Another one I came up with, age is out, meaning there are a lot of mechanics. It gets to a certain age, right. They won't work on it. You can't get it repaired, and if you don't know how to do it, that is something that can be the death of a bike.
Right, and so let's have a look at the situation in Monterey. So in Monterey, you've got the big dealer option, and they won't work on bikes that are older than 10 years.
Right.
So if your bike was made in 2013 or older, guess who's working on it? Me. But not everybody's got the financial clout to have me work on their bike.
And not everybody has a shop available to them.
Right. I'm the last independent in Monterey. I'm the last independent in Monterey.
Wow.
With a couple of exceptions. There's a couple of shops out there that are doing part-time stuff, but I'm pretty much it. So when I finally retire, unless there's somebody kind of up and coming right now, that's going to be it. And that same scenario is being played all over America right now, and all over England, and all over Europe. People are aging out. What did you notice about Gabe?
He's not
very
that
handsome.
Old. Yeah.
Aside from he's handsome,
he was young.
Very well kept.
He was not young.
He's not.
He said he's been a mechanic for like 20 years.
Yeah. So he's not like 21. There's very, very few young people in this industry. Everyone is aging out, and he's a lot younger than I am, but he's not a young man. And you go into any bike shop, you're not seeing kids working on these things anymore. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. So another thing I realized where bikes disappear to, stolen and stripped.
Yes.
Just stolen. Yep. I mean, that's a pretty
big problem in inner city areas.
Oh,
huge problem. A huge problem in England.
Huge in England.
Another one I thought of, when somebody loves their bike to death. And there are a lot of people who don't want to get rid of their bike, but they're no longer riding it. They've had kids, something's happened, their life has changed. They just park it in the shed, park it in the garage, park it in the backyard. This is where I think a lot of bikes go, Emma. They don't want to let them go.
And I get them. This is Dad's bike
now,
or Grandpa's bike.
When you get a valuable bike that's a barn find, that will get resurrected someday. Do you think people are going to be resurrecting Viragos?
No.
Right?
But does that mean that their current owners love them any less? No, of course not. I know, a couple of guys who just love their Viragos. A couple of my customers have got early Viragos, and they just think they're the greatest thing. So my question to you, who gets Rufus when I die? Who should be the owner of Rufus when I die? Because right now I'm...
it's going to go to Iconic bikes.
No, those guys are...
They know what to do with it. They'll find the proper home.
They'd find the proper owner, but I'm really inclined out of everyone I know, who would take care of Rufus like I take care of Rufus?
No one. So I like the idea of stuffing you two, putting you on the bike, and then a Viking funeral out into Monterey Bay.
This is another
light
death.
the thing on fire.
This is another death. The people who choose to be buried with their bikes. I think it's a horrible, horrible death of a bike, but there are people who are buried with their bikes. which is horrible. It's another way of loving it to death, I think. So I thought of another thing that destroys a bike that we have not yet mentioned. Can you think of it, Emma? Something that, this is the death of a bike. In so many ways, it's the death of a bike. And it's not a crash. It's not lack of maintenance. It's not stolen. It's not any of these things. Can you think of what it is? Rick, you can...
Lack of registration?
No.
Back fees?
But yeah, that's when the cost to repair is more expensive.
The cost
Emma,
to register it.
Can you think of something that can absolutely kill a bike, even though it's still sitting there in front of you?
I'll say death of an owner.
I have an
Bagel,
idea.
You got it?
Corrosion.
Well, that would be a result. I was thinking of fire.
I almost said that.
Well, yeah.
Almost said
Fire is, I think, a really hard one. That's a not uncommon thing that a bike is in or near a fire.
Yeah.
And that is the thing that you can't bring that back, right? I mean, that metal has been...
Just hold on, because I've had bikes on fire on my ramp.
You've ridden them.
No, but I'm talking about...
You've
There's
slightly
bikes
been
on fire and there's bikes in fires.
Bikes in fires. And that is a tragic thing.
Fires,
because
yes.
even though all the metal is still there,
well,
it's all been...
The property of the metal has changed and it's not trustworthy. And we've had people ask us, I'm buying a frame that has been in a fire. Don't ride on that frame because the property of the metal has changed.
That, I think,
It'll be a noodle.
We talk about the death of a bike, and bikes go to a junkyard, and we don't know. They may get bought by somebody restored. The parts may go to somebody else.
We were just talking about
keep another
flooded
bike
bikes.
going.
What if a bike was in a flood? That was the death of a bike, we basically said. Because
Good,
all the
but
silt gets everywhere,
I think
right?
the ultimate death is fire. A bike on
it's a pretty
fire,
bitchin'
in a
death.
fire
Burst into flames. That is
done.
a cooler way to go.
Done, and that is the ultimate death.
Well, there's that there's a viral video going around, and Phil of Cleveland Moto actually sent
Phil.
it. Hello, Phil. He actually sent it to me yesterday. Of that, I think it's a Heritage Softail on fire on the
going
curb,
in circles,
and then the starter relay melts.
Yes. Have you guys
and the
seen
starter
this?
engages, and the thing's going round and round in circles.
It's parked in a
on
street
fire.
on fire, and it melts the wire, crosses the starter, battery's still alive.
great.
So the thing starts scooting forward
It
from
lurches
the
to
starter.
life and
it's
goes.
going in a circle because the kickstand is down.
That is
And
cool.
just
It's a
going,
real.
Yeah.
It's a real life Ghost Rider.
It is
It
real
is
good.
a real
It's scary.
Ghost Rider.
So there you go. The death of the motorcycle is something that is hard for everybody. And it's something that, again, I say it's a badge of honor. I have not been the death of a motorcycle. I've always managed to revive or maintain and pass on a bike. I take a lot of pride in that.
And I have not only not killed a motorcycle, I have brought several motorcycles back from the dead or scooters.
There you go.
Where they were literally, being auctioned off for parts, and I saw, this is something that can be repaired, and I did it.
Where's my fucking hot tub?
It's
I
in the
want
mail.
my hot tub.
Oh my God.
It's in the mail.
So again, going back, preventative death of a motorcycle. Three most common things people aren't checking. Would it be oil, tires, and maybe stem bearings? Something
Chain?
Yeah, I mean, chain. A snap.
Chain will take out an engine case right there. Chain. I think
Chain.
you're right. Oil, chain, and tires.
And like they were saying before, old gas. If you don't know how to work on bikes, and
there you go.
old gas will do it.
But number one is oil. There is not a bike on the road that doesn't use oil.
Yeah.
Brand new ones use oil. It's a very, very small amount.
Yep. The two I killed were engine and oil related. One was I did not use, I think, a crush washer on the DR350 because it has oil in the frame.
But you were crushed.
I was very crushed. Yeah. Well, mostly I was skidding down the road when it blew out and oil dumped all over the place on Highway 1 in Monterey. And that was a DR. And, remember, we did the forensics on that one, and you drew a sad penis on the box of parts I walked home with. And you called me a noob or something.
I call you a knobhead.
But the knob. And the other one was the KLX 250 that I dumped in that nasty-ass mud-fetid mud puddle in Hollister.
Yeah, and you had water ingress in the engine.
Because it had been modified, so it had an open air box.
Open air box.
Turns the oil to mayonnaise.
I wrote it out. That was the mistake. Because to its credit, that fucker started in about 10 minutes.
But it was noisy.
Well, I wrote it out with like half water and half oil in the crankcase, and that does not go well.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, oil-related.
So can we say that we've gotten the death thing behind us?
Well, I hope so, because
Yes, let's do that.
it's not the greatest subject, and it's. I think it's something we needed to talk about, but I'm happy to move on to jollier things.
Well, we've got.
I'm thrilled about our new friend Gabe.
Yeah, I think Motorcycles and Misfits Garage.
Yeah, I think he's just great. I hope to meet his friends.
We got time for a couple emails. Jim, you have the shortest one.
I do have probably the shortest Misfits email ever.
That's a little personal,
but it's a bit mysterious.
Do
too.
you have the shortest one, Jim?
Oh, it's a wee willy winky that runs through the town.
The hog's eye.
The hog knob. Okay, this is from Reese S.
Hey,
oh, wait,
Reese.
no, it's not. That's his email. It's from Tyler from Charlottesville,
hey,
Virginia.
Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
Hello, Tyler.
Hey, Misfits. I'm not sure I understand it, but tell me why Honda decided to make the new Transalp a Versys by 300 clone.
I don't see this.
That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'm trying to make sense of it. But the Transalps, the minimum, that's a 450, I think they make in Europe. Here it's can you even get the 750 here? A Transalp 7
versus
because it's got a big front wheel.
That's the X, right? Versus 300X.
Yeah, I mean they're both twins.
Does it look like? Maybe it may be that the profile.
So, but I mean,
similar.
I would argue that most adventure bikes have a very similar profile. Mm-hmm. If motorcycles were people, I don't know. The sport bikes would be the guys in tracksuits. Mm-hmm. Like cafe racers would kind of look like me. Mm-hmm. And then the adventure bikes, they kind of look like adventure kind of people. Mm-hmm. And they all have a similar profile. I think the Transalp's its own thing.
Yeah, I mean, it has such a rich history.
And it predates, and it predates the Versys by like 30 years.
Yeah, by like generations, yeah.
Yeah, by generations.
Both cool bikes, though.
Oh, yeah. And it's funny, the freaking Versys 300 never sold.
Does that have what size front wheel does that have? 18-inch front wheel?
21.
Oh, so it's big. The 300 does?
Yeah, it got 21.
What a cool adventure bike for someone with a short
clutch.
instead.
The clutch felt like nothing.
Huh.
The clutch didn't even feel like it had a cable. It was that light.
Interestingly enough, I was in a parking lot. I ran into Jocelyn Snow there, right?
Oh, okay.
And
did you hurt her?
No.
Yeah, did you mow her down?
No. But we were just chatting, and this bike kind of pulled up and parked not far from us, and we both looked at it. And we both kind of looked at each other. Neither of us knew what it was, but it was obviously an off-road bike, and we were both like, "What was that?" We're like, "How could neither of us know what this off-road bike was?" And we had to walk up and see what it was, and it was a 300X. And I just hadn't, seen one in the wild, but we both like, "Is that a KTM?
Was it?
Is that what is that?"
Was it gray or green?
It might have been a gray one.
Is it
because it didn't look.
It's a very handsome bike.
Kawasaki green, I would have noticed. So I just thought that was interesting.
Single? 300 single?
No, it's twin.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's twin. It's got Ninja engine.
Oh,
it's
there
got
you go.
300
Okay.
Ninja engine.
All right, Bagel, you have one there?
Bagel.
Yes, I have an email from Michael Pickford.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
And Michael writes, "Hello from Denver, Misfits.
Hey.
I was recently listening to your episode about how everyone should think about adding a scooter as their N+1,
Yes.
and I haven't been
Yes.
able to shake the idea. I used to ride around town on a Honda Ruckus as my introduction to two-wheeled fun,
Oh, that's
but
a
ended up
great thing.
but ended up selling it to fund the purchase of my first motorcycle 5 years ago, a 2013 Bonneville T100. I've always had it in the back of my head to look at buying another one for around town trips, but never seriously considered it. That is until I heard your recent episode, and wouldn't you know it, I came across someone in town looking to clear some space in their garage of a neglected Honda Metro. for a case of beer.
That's a deal.
Wow.
Now, I know there's no such thing as a free motorcycle/scooter, but what about a beer 99 scooter? I haven't had a chance to dig into it yet, but my guess is that I'll need to drain the gas tank and inspect it. It's been sitting for 2 years.
Exactly what Gabe said.
Yeah, buy a new battery and pull the carb for cleaning, something I've never done before, but feel comfortable learning.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Are there any other must-do items I should add to my list, and is there a proper order to do them? Thanks for putting out such an enjoyable podcast week after week. Mike from Colorado.
All right.
So, let me tell you about Honda Metros. They're just the most charming little thing. They are absolutely lovely. So here's your list of things to do.
Is it Honda tough?
They're kind of Honda tough. They are made in China, which a lot of people are quite surprised about, but they're nicely done. You need to take the fuel cap off and look inside the fuel tank, and it's very, very easy because the tank is very, very shallow. It's like pancake, and it's where your feet go. It's right down at the very bottom. So you need to get all the fuel out of the fuel tank, and it does actually have a fuel pump. And the fuel pump only pumps when the engine is running. It's one of the quirks of the electronics of it. So my advice to you is clean the carb, clean the tank, buy a very, very good battery, leave the air filter trunk off, spray something a little bit combustible in the carb mouth, get the bike running, and then allow the fuel to pump into the carb, and then everything will be hunky-dory. Not the fastest thing in the world. I hope it's a Metropolitan, not Metropolitan 2. A Metropolitan 2 is designed for like 75-pound Japanese girls to ride around Tokyo at 25 miles an hour. So it will be woefully slow. Lovely little things, though.
And other than that, check the tires, make sure they're not too out of date.
Check the date code on the tires.
Yeah. But I mean, it's a 30 mile an hour thing. So, you can, if the tires look okay and they're old, you can kind of let that slide a little bit.
Is that 49 cc's?
It is indeed.
Yep.
But just a darling little thing. And very much marketed towards women. You could get them in the standard. They're predominantly white with very, very brightly coloured panels on them. They did red. They did a very nice blue, bright yellow, which was a favourite of mine. But they came in very, very nice patterns. Like I think they did a Louis Vuitton one,
Right.
And they did a Coach one, and just darling little thing.
I would just recommend, depending upon which color it is, like it's a blue, red, as you said, is go out and get a pair of matching flip-flops in that color. Because that's really cute when your flip-flops match
or a tutu.
your Metropolitan.
No, and I think a tutu,
right.
which you can keep under the seat.
We have time for one more. And Emma, you have a very nice one there.
I do, actually. And this is from Graham. And
hey, Graham.
The message goes, "Hey, Misfits. I just listened to half of podcast 522 on death this morning on my commute into work here in sunny southern UK. I was really touched by some of the stories. Liza's bike club mate Teddy, who died 10 years after his bad crash, and obviously suffering with some connected anger problems. Emma's really hit home, though, almost literally. I'm a little younger, but I lived around Sutton Coldfield at about the same time. I bought my first bike, a Suzuki GP 125, from around here too, a couple of years later. I would have been a schoolboy when Emma and Ozzy were local bikers, but really felt for her during the telling of the story. And I wanted to apologise. I mean, that's a story. I haven't talked about Ozzy in 44 years. And it's not often I lose my biscuits, but it was very, very hard to talk about him. And it still is. It's still as raw now. And back then, that was really my first dealing with death on that scale. Because, your grandma dies and your grandpa dies and they're old, and it's kind of, as hard as it is, it's kind of expected. But just have your mate there one day and now he's gone. It was very, very hard, and still is. So where were we? But really felt for her during the telling of the story. It was made more real by mentions of the A38 and Good Hope Hospital, all really well known by me from around that time. I expect Emma will have known the Bassett's Pole roundabout too, which I used to go to a lot, where all the bikes used to meet. Yeah, that was So the Bassett's Pole was an old truck stop from back in the day. So back in England in the very, very early 1960s, the freeways, the motorways hadn't been built yet. I think the M1 actually opened, which was the first one in 1959. So all the A roads, which were the major thoroughfares, were frequented by truck drivers. And they all had these really cool, like, cafes where you go and you get, like, sausage and eggs. And, Ace?
No.
I've lost it.
Sounds like... Rhymes with... What do you
Ace
think?
Cafe.
I said Ace, yes.
Yeah, the Ace Cafe exactly was one of them. Well, the Bassett's Pole was one of those back in the day. And it just became a great haunt. I think it was midweek, like a Wednesday night. All the bikers would show up there and show off and pull wheelies up and down the A38. So anyway, where all the bikes used to meet. We've all suffered losses which float around in our heads sometimes. And now I'm in my later 50s. It's sometimes hard to look back. It is, isn't it? I just thought I'd get in touch and tell you all how much I appreciated this week's subject. A bit melancholy, but worked for me. Choose something cheery next week, damn it. Oh, bloody hell, we fucked up there, didn't we? Thanks all, give it the moons! Ever need a hand with logistics stuff? Support with coming to the UK, let me know.
Thanks.
Can help, put people up, store a bike or two, etc. if needs be. Cheers, Graham.
Cheers.
What a lovely letter, Graham. And it's the thing is with this is I've only ever regarded this podcast as like us in this room and Bagel. And so I'm sitting here and I've got, 3 other lovely people in the room and I'm looking at Bagel, and that's kind of how I treat it. And if anybody wants to listen to it, I think that's just lovely. But you don't realize how far-reaching this podcast gets. And I'm absolutely tickled by the fact that Graham, who not only knows all the places, but probably when me and Ozzy were riding together, he was at grammar school or something,
Yeah.
It's the same
Watching
part
you
of the
cruise down
world.
the road.
It's amazing. It really is. It's absolutely amazing to me. So thank you all for listening. I think you're all just lovely.
So, Rick, what'd you think? How do you like seeing the sausage made here?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was fascinating. I love the room.
I was watching you look around.
I'm liking all these models.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, Liza, as I told you, is very much her father's daughter, and her father was an avid collector of many things. And you have picked up the baton, haven't you?
Yes, welcome to my brain.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it's like.
see it.
Well, it's that time to say big thanks. Thanks to Jim for sticking it out.
I hung
hours.
in, yeah.
He hung in.
I told Liza, I don't sit still anywhere for 2
man,
hours.
I try. I got more comfortable chairs.
You did. I know.
And you didn't realize, I found candy on the floor and I tossed it to Jim and he ate it. I ate mine. I kind of regretted it. It was a gummy thing.
You didn't tell me it was on the floor.
I think it'd been there a long
I
time.
should have known.
It was like chewing on a pencil eraser. It's just like, this is not a
no.
gummy. It was a hard gummy.
Mine was a hot tamale, so it's kind of like it's got that astringent in there, so it's safe.
Hey man, I eat floor candy.
I know for a fact we haven't eaten hot tamales in here for at least 3 months. So that's like a quarter-year-old hot tamale.
I've seen Liza drink a unknown soda out of the parking lot.
I ain't afraid.
Okay, let's wrap this shit up. I'm hungry now.
Big thank you to Gabe from Motorcycles and Misfits Garage.
Cool. Yes, and a big thank you to everybody who listens. It really it means more than you probably realize. Thank you.
Yeah, and keep those emails coming in. We need some more questions. What do you want? What do you want them to ask you, Emma?
I want them to ask me anything, and my promise is, if you send me a question about anything, I will answer it.
Send us your questions. I like the Tell Me Whys. Send us some more
Tell Me Whys are good because, motorcycles can be a bit mysterious. Ooh. And hopefully I can get the ghost out.
But I also want to know if somebody out there did kill a motorcycle, What did they do, and what did they learn from that?
How'd you kill it?
Has anyone straight up shotgun, like 12 gauge blast? Like, I'm so
Oh,
upset.
I'm sure.
I am just going to unload 12 gauge of hate on this thing.
I do know somebody who had an old bike that they had been working on that used to be their bike that they were working on here at the garage years ago, and they just were getting so frustrated with it, and he lost his temper, and he took out a hammer and just started hammering the fins off, and then just drove it up and threw it off a mountain. Cool. Took it up into the hills here. So that's a whole nother death, but I was always just kind of shocked by that behavior. So there you go.
Yeah,
but let us know.
A little unnecessary.
If you've killed a bike, how you did it and what you learned. Big thanks to our Patreon subscribers. Keep it coming. I can't tell you yet, but I did spend some Patreon money today on something I think is very good that we'll be revealing shortly. Right, Emma?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
we're
this is
revealing
pretty cool.
that very shortly.
I know. Big thanks, everyone. I think we're ready to get out of here. Go to motorcyclesandmisfits.com. I still got some T-shirts left. I've sold out of a bunch of sizes because they are, once it's gone, it is gone. Go get your T-shirts while they are still there. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. This is Liza.
Emma, darling.
Rick the Visitor.
Naked Jim, son.
Bagel.
And we are out of here.
Taco.
Cool.